Let's make more noise today. If you're in this group, all my friends know each other.
You're always calling more people during the home party, aren't you? Please don't do that seriously. Wait a minute. If you invite any more people, there's no place to sleep. This room is a large apartment, so it's available to stay a certain number of people. But as I expected, if there were more people, there would be no room for everyone to sleep together. Then my husband made an unacceptable statement.
Then why don't you sleep in the kitchen?
My name is Naomi, a 27 years old housewife. I have been married to my husband Ken for 2 years. I met my husband at work. He was 2 years older than me, a reliable boss, sociable, and popular among everyone. I was a rather reserved type of person, so I was surprised when he asked me out to dinner. However, as we went out on several dates and started dating, I learned that he was a gentlemanly and more he was surprisingly quiet and calm. I was crazy about him. I also found out that he was unexpectedly family-oriented.
Let's have a date at my place today, he said.
He invited me to his house and served me home-cooked meals, which he cooked easily and quickly. All of them were delicious. I had an image of Ken as a flashier guy, always dining at the restaurant with a night view or something.
No, I have a simple personality. I'm just pretending to be a fun-loving, easygoing guy so my coworkers can easily rely on me.
I see. I was very happy to find out that he actually has a similar personality to mine. Then we continued dating and got married. All my other colleagues were surprised at how an unexpected couple we were. I resigned from the company upon our marriage. My husband asked me to stay home, so I quit my work. After that, I'm sure I would support my husband and did my best at chores. I made lunch boxes for him every day and also put a lot of effort into making elaborate dinners. My husband was happy to have dinner at home, saying it was delicious. But he had more drinking parties than I had imagined. Whenever my husband calls me to tell me that he's sorry and he doesn't need to have dinner tonight, I feel sad as I'm working hard to prepare dinner. I knew that he was popular and often went out drinking with his coworkers, so I knew that it would happen. I did not expect him to go out drinking at the same pace after we got married. I couldn't stand it any longer, and one day I complained to my husband. Well, sometimes I want to spend the time with you on weekends too. My husband always drinks late on Friday night, returning home after midnight or in the morning, and then sleeps all through Saturday because he is hungover. On Sunday, he's either out with friends or getting ready for work, so we hardly get any time together as a couple. When I complained like that, my husband awkwardly said that you're right and made a suggestion.
Maybe from now on, I would invite friends and colleagues over to our house for a drink at home. That way, we could save money too.
No, that's not what I mean. But my husband seems to have convinced himself and said happily,
It would let Naomi get along with my friends, and you could see your former colleagues again.
I really wanted some time together, but it was still better than going out for drinks and not seeing his face. After all, almost every weekend my husband brought his friends and colleagues over to our house for drinks.
Naomi, you're out of beer. Can you make me some dessert or something?
I want to have a buffet. My husband's friends and ex-colleagues would ask me for anything that they wanted without hesitation. They treat me as if I were a waiter at a dining bar. Some of my husband's friends were women, but they were the most selfish and annoyed me. They never helped me. The riotous drinking party at our house every weekend were really hard to prepare drinks and snacks. I was truly at my physical limit with no time to rest. But my husband did not notice my condition at all. On the contrary, he invites people to stay at our house, saying that everyone should stay over without worrying about it. And they stay as they want without hesitation and make noise until late at night. Moreover, they get up around noon and try to make me serve meals, saying they want something they can eat even if they are hungover. So my weekends ends up with no rest at all because of this. Even when I'm around with my husband, I'm busy cooking and cleaning up, and he's talking all the time with the people he has invited to the house. He never come over to me or look at me. But if I complain about this situation, he would get angry and go out for a drink instead of staying at home. I was wondering what to do when I found out that I was pregnant. When I told my husband, he was deeply moved and happy.
I'm going to be your father too, so let's announce it to everyone and celebrate.
No, I don't think so. Without even talking about it to me, my husband started announcing it all at once on social media. Then he said that everyone was going to congratulate me, and then he made a surprising comment.
We'll invite them over for the weekend to celebrate.
What? My husband said that he invited all his friends immediately. On the weekend, all of his friends gathered at our house and began to make more noise than as usual. I accepted it anyway, thinking that it was a celebration and I was still in the early stage of pregnancy. It was okay to have them at least once, but my husband's friends came our house many times. I thought it was time for them to stop. It's hard to prepare for a big party when your health condition is not stable and the smell is too much for a pregnant woman. Moreover, some of them were smokers. They smoked normally without caring about me. Even though they went out to smoke at the balcony, it smelled like cigarette when they came back to the room. I wondered if I could safely give birth in such an environment. I felt I was in danger, so I decided to talk to my husband about it. I'm happy to celebrate with you, but honestly, it's time for you to stop inviting your friends to our house.
Why not?
Because I'm pregnant. I need to rest my body. But if I have to prepare for a drink party every week, it will be too much work. I'm not feeling well, and the smell of food, alcohol, and cigarettes are getting me sick.
What the heck? I started to invite people because you asked for it.
I asked you to cut down on drinking and make time for the two of us. I didn't ask you to invite them over our house.
I did it for you, but you are against me?
It's not like that. But if you're thinking of me, stop drinking at our house.
Screw you. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? I've already asked them out for drinks at home this week. I can't say no to this one, so I will have a drinking party.
What?
It's the last time we're gonna have a drink, so it has to be grand. Prepare an exquisite meal.
My husband would not listen to my opinion once he made up his mind, so I decided to accept it because it would be the last time. I prepared a large amount of food and cooked it, so it would be ready to eat when husbands arrived. I also ordered a beer online in advance, put them all in the fridge to keep them nice and cold when the husband arrived. This way, I wouldn't have to be involved in every step of the process. When the husbands arrived, I took them to the living room and asked them to take a seat and serve them beer. Then the party started, so I went to the bedroom and lay down on the bed to get away from the noise and smell. I closed my eyes, hoping the party would be end while I was sleeping. But within 10 minutes, I heard my husband calling me loudly.
Hey, Naomi, where are you? Bring me a beer and get to work.
I dared to pretend not to hear him and keep staying in the bedroom. Then I heard footsteps loudly and the bedroom door open. I looked at the door in surprise.
What the hell are you doing here? Bring beer.
It was my husband who opened the door. My heart almost stopped. What if it was someone else? I would never want anyone other than my husband in my bedroom. My husband stared at me with a scared look. I put the beer in the fridge beforehand, so you can get pretty cold one. I'm sick from the pregnancy, so give me a break. Even when I told like that, my husband remained with a scared look.
Don't be silly. I told you I would do it last time. You're gonna do such a rough chore. You're my wife, and you have the duty to entertain everyone. Pregnancy is not a disease. Take care of the housework.
What the heck? I fell out of love with him at once. I guess he wants to show off in front of his friends and colleagues that his wife is under his control. I also wondered the people who came over. They must be insane. I had no choice but to leave the bedroom and go to the living room where they were having a riotous drinking party.
You finally came! Hurry up and get me a beer!
I want them to go home soon, but I guess they will stay over here anyway.
Madam, you can't do that.
You need to do the housework. As your husband is working hard, there are people who are pregnant and still do their chores. You guys don't understand how hard it is to be a pregnant woman. If you think so, be single forever. As I was pretending to care about them, my husband made me outrageous.
We're gonna make more noise today. Everyone here is my friends who know each other.
He's always calling more people during the party.
Let's call more people.
Please don't do that. Wait a minute. If you invite more people, there will be no place to sleep. This room is a large apartment, so it is available to stay a certain number of people. But as I expected, if there were more people, there would be no room for everyone to sleep together. Then my husband made an unacceptable statement.
Why don't you sleep in the kitchen?
What?
If you do so, there will be room for one more person in the bedroom.
What are you talking about? I'm pregnant. What if I sleep in the kitchen and affect the baby?
It would be okay if that happened once. You are ruining this fun time.
How can you do this? Why did I marry such a man?
Madam, understand the situation.
Oh yes, everyone is having a good time. Friends attract like-minded people, huh? Like my husband, these people are disgusting, and I can't take it anymore. If my husband would call someone, I should call a helper too. I thought it would be just one person, but he called 3 people. So we ran out of food. My husband ordered me to cook more dishes as soon as possible. I said, I can't. We are running out of food. When I argued against him, he said,
So buy some right now.
He accused me of not knowing how to do that. I pissed off, and I was thinking about what to say when the doorbell rang. Did my husband still call someone?
Did I call someone yet? Could it be someone's surprise?
He went to the entrance and opened the door with a grin on his face.
Why? Dad, Mom, and even Sis, why are you guys here?
The helpers I called were my in-laws.
Kim, what are you doing?
How come are you having a drinking party every week at home with Naomi who is pregnant? What's more, you said that pregnancy isn't disease, and then you kept her working hard. What are you thinking? My parents-in-law and sister-in-law were all accusing my husband at once.
No, it's not.
When the people of my in-laws were mad and came into the living room, my husband's colleagues and friends were looking at them surprisingly.
What's going on? Too many people. This is as big as relative gatherings.
It's not like Naomi was always the only one who was responsible for cooking and cleaning up for a party with the many people, is it? Did anyone help her? My husband is silent and he can't say anything. My husband's colleagues and friends looked at him with a blank look with their eyes. Then my sister-in-law got angry. I've never met you before, but you're the worst. Are any of you married yet? Don't you have children? Do you know how hard it is to be pregnant? It's 100 times harder than you think. It's not just the moment when you actually give birth to a child, but it's already hard when you are having a large belly, and you feel sick and it lasts so long that you can't even smell the food you used to eat. And yet, there's no way you're smoking. Also, you make her serve food. Then my father-in-law opened his mouth after my sister-in-law.
Perhaps you all came here because my son called you, but could you please leave today? I have something important to talk from now. As my daughter said earlier, I think normal person would be hesitant to visit the home with a pregnant woman and make a big noisy drinking party. And normal people with common sense wouldn't do such a thing.
My father-in-law said this quietly. So my husband's co-workers and friend began preparing to leave. They looked uncomfortable and left the house. After all, there were only my husband, my in-laws, and me. Ken, explain to me what's going on.
Why can you do such a terrible thing? Don't you care about Naomi? What you're doing would kill your own child.
If you are responsible for the loss of your child, would you be able to take responsibility for it? Why don't you think about something other than yourself? You're always flirtatious and self-centered like a child. You don't do that anymore. My father-in-law and sister-in-law blame my husband. My husband has not wanted to go back to his parents' house since the beginning of our marriage. Even if we showed up at the New Year, he would just say hello because he was busy and would not stay over or even have dinner with them. I knew that my husband's parents were very nice people, so I secretly contacted and met with them on my own since my husband did not want to see them. So I'm good friends with my in-laws, and I think I get along with them better than my husband. Witnessing the relentless attacks on my husband by his family this time, I now understand why my husband doesn't want to go back to his parents' house. He must have always been lectured like this. After that, my husband was scolded by his family for about 3 hours, so he was very depressed. Seeing him like that, I felt refreshed. You hurry up and apologize to Naomi for everything you have done.
That's right. You must show your apology.
My husband apologized to me seriously.
Oh, Naomi, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused you by being so selfish. Please forgive me.
Well, Naomi, do you forgive this jerk? My sister-in-law asks me that way. I smiled at her and said, No, I can't do it anymore. I will never forgive him. When I said that, my husband looked up and looked very sad.
Oh no, I've already apologized so much to you.
Because after all you want is a convenient wife who does chores and listens to everything you say. Then you don't need me. I want to marry a man who will love me and take good care of me. So please divorce me. Divorce. My husband became impatient at the words divorce. He rebelled against it, but his family stopped him. If Naomi says she can't do it, you can't do it anymore. Give it up.
Now, you know you've done something you can't take back, so take this opportunity to reflect. I'm sorry, Naomi. We'll take care about this idiot, so you can spend your time here without worries. If you don't feel comfortable here, you can go back to your parents' house. We will be responsible for taking you back then.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thus, thank you to my in-laws, I was able to defeat my husband and furthermore divorce him. I heard that my husband had been grumbling to the end. He was indeed not able to win 3-1, so he signed the divorce papers. He will pay me child support. I had my parents-in-law and sister-in-law help me pack my belongings and return to my parents' house. Even then, my in-laws politely greeted and apologized to my parents, and my parents felt sorry for them. After that, my husband was seen as an unfortunate guy who was abandoned by his family and his wife, and apparently people around him disappeared at once. And I have someone at my ex-husband's workplace who was good friend with me, but not the colleagues that my ex-husband had brought with him. The person told me that all of the ex-husband's colleagues were having affairs, were cheating on the side business, or were being punished and fired by the company for garbage reasons and many other things. They had been fired from their jobs for some scandalous reasons. It was a moment I realized we were attracted to each other because of our similarities. I would take my ex-husband and those who are connected to him as a bad example of how not to behave and live my life with integrity and humility. Later, I gave birth to a baby girl without problems. At that time, I invited all my ex-in-laws except my ex-husband to my parents' house to meet my daughter. They were all very happy to see me and adored my daughter. I wonder how lousy person grew up even from such wonderful people. I will cherish my relationship with my ex-in-laws except for my ex-husband. And most of all, I will work hard to raise my daughter, my treasured daughter. How dare her husband to say that the pregnant wife to sleep in the kitchen? How crazy is he? I'm so glad that her ex-in-laws are not insane. Naomi, I hope you will do your best as a single mother from now on. I hope her future life is happy. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.